there are certain markers for couples that you know you're a good couple. And one of them is if you both don't like scary movies. And
me and Trina, I care less.
Couldn't care less.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're the same way. Like neither of us are ever
comedy.
like, yeah.
I like comedy. I like to turn my brain off.
Yep.
Of what I have, my brain left.
No, I'll go for action. And a lot of times I'll be like headed for something like that. And we'll be like, when we're looking for something to watch, and Kelly will be like, let's watch something light and fluffy.
Yep. Or we'll be our last.
Oh yeah, never.
Last.
No.
Yeah.
Suspense, maybe.
Yeah,
Thriller.
Nice.
Yeah. But no.
Well, things with demons and you can't go to bed.
Or slasher stuff.
Yeah,
like
I don't need that in my life.
No.
I don't need that before I go to bed.
Yeah, I always say like the real life is scary enough.
Yeah, I don't
need made stuff.
I want Paul Rudd doing step at the base, step at the back. I don't know why I thought of that.
That's right.
I just want silly stuff.
The teeny weeny beanie.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast, with a combined age of 111 years and a combined IQ right in that same range. Your hosts, Frank Sirio and Carlo Russo. Welcome back. Here we are.
We are back.
And it's always the count 26, episode 26, which if we were always doing one every 2 weeks, we would be at a year. But we're not, because we did once a week for a while.
Right.
I think we might stay with it every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell me.
It's tough. I'm still down to the wire. I was editing this morning to put out the episode. Today. Yeah. I just barely, by the skin of my teeth, was able to provide you the viewing audience with what you want.
I hope you guys can understand. I know the want is there. Oh, every week. Come on. I hear the chatter in the streets. I do. I hear the chatter in the streets. Where are the shows?
I have to say, we're going to talk a little bit more about
chatter in the streets.
Yes, chatter.
Okay.
We've picked up some. Remember, we had that anomalous, very popular episode of one of the episodes of the podcast was super popular in France.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
We don't know why.
We don't know why. Yeah.
Now we now have, and I assumed it was some relatives of Kelly. We have some listeners in the UK. Now, she has some family outside of London, but then when I did the research, nope, not that part of the UK.
These are random fans,
random British people. So fantastic, as well as the contingent from France.
Wow,
we are international, but regardless, welcome back.
Yes,
as always, I am Frank Sirio. I am 55 years old, but now I wanted to be able to say a month. But she's 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
She's 12 weeks old. My little daughter, baby Josie, by next time she will be an actual full 3 months old.
Wow. My God.
But yeah, I
3 months.
We just transitioned. Kelly was working on filling a bag for donations because we now went from the 0 to 3 months. We're now into the 3 to 6 months because she
got bigger.
She's pretty long.
Yeah, she is.
And so she's getting the.
Josie's a long baby.
She is going to be so tall.
Well, mommy's.
Yeah, she's pretty tall.
Mommy's tall.
Yep.
Yeah, I came in today and she was on her back inside, and Kelly was playing with her, and I got to see her. I don't see her that much like that. I always see somebody holding the baby or sleeping.
She was on her little play mat.
On her little play mat, and so cute. And then I made her cry.
I don't think it was you.
I don't know.
It's it. A lot of times it's funny. She really is genuinely almost always in a good mood. Yeah. She's very happy. And you can see there's like this internal conflict. If she's got something going on where she's hungry or she's got a little gassy, you can see she's like, she just wants to be happy. Gotcha. But she'll be like, she will kind of go back and forth. I think that might have been it.
I didn't take it personally.
You shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't. She talks of you often.
I know.
She speaks of you
I'll
very
tell you
glowingly.
Though, it sounds crazy, but at that age, even when they cry, they're so cute.
Yeah.
That little cute cry. It's not like that annoying.
Yep.
When they're like, you're a 2-year-old, 3-year-old cry, you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Especially in the airport.
I'm wondering how that'll be.
Baby cries are they're soft and I don't know. They're cute.
There is something about it when it's yours. It's much more tolerable.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you're absolutely. Yeah. I remember with my kids, and it would be like kind of like you don't even hear it.
Yeah.
And people are like around you going, you're going to do something. Do what? What do you mean? Yeah. What's going on?
It's like that with the dogs a lot. Watson will be like, what's going on?
Yeah,
are you going to do something about this?
Pick this little thing up that
every time I bark, you yell at me.
So I did. I made Josie cry a little bit. I don't think I did, but
no.
It was nice to see her in a different. Usually when I walk in, she's sleeping or being fed.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. you tend to always show up especially that time of day.
Can I see her? Yeah, she just got done.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even get to.
I know.
No, but we were able to have a little meeting, and I bet you she'll be around later.
Yeah, nice.
So here we are.
12 weeks.
12 weeks, and we're back for episode 26. So we're going to do something that we have not done in a while, and that is to roll right into the Silver Fox mailbox. So
I like Silver Fox mailbox. Let the people speak.
Yeah, it's nice. We get lots of little comments and likes and stuff. So in different channels with the social media. So Instagram, we'll put out our shorts. And it's interesting because the same short in different places will do different things, and obviously different people will see it. But this time on Instagram, we had a comment from Judy Fire.
Judy Fire.
Judy Fire is actually a friend through my sister, but a friend of the podcast as well. We used in one of our shorts, you were talking about how you didn't want baby to be mushy mush from tickling their feet.
The baby tickling.
And after you said that, after that, I think I do remember something from the little old Italian ladies about that.
So if for somebody who hasn't heard the other one, we were talking about tickling the baby's feet, and I remember my mother not wanting that because it said it made the baby
make them weak.
Make them weak. It just light on the feet, I guess.
Could be.
You know what? So that's what we were referring to.
So she commented on that because one of the things I said was actually that the lactation consultants say to tickle their feet to wake them up between feedings. And Judy Fire commented she also needs to be woke up between feedings.
Hello.
Which I thought that was cute.
All right.
And I suppose probably true. So there was that on Instagram from Judy Fire. Thank you. YouTube, a comment from Christine, one of our super fans.
Sure.
And this was an interesting one that I thought would be worth talking about.
Okay.
And it was just she has a lot of recommendations, which I think are great. And her recommendation in that comment on YouTube was to make sure you set aside Frank time, couple time, and family time.
I remember that.
I don't know if this is something that just comes naturally to you and Trina, or if you have, by design, if you've worked at that. Have you guys always kind of planned that out?
I don't think we've ever went, every Tuesday, it's our time, and we need to get a babysitter. And I don't think we've never done that. We always knew that we enjoyed spending time together. When we had the young family, even when we brought them out, it still felt like we were out together. We loved going out with the kids. We loved it. I don't know if we did a lot of let's get a babysitter and do our dating day or night, you know what I mean?
Because you felt connected even with the kids.
Yeah, we were connected with the kids. Now, it's funny you say that because my oldest, it's funny that you're going into 12 weeks, and my oldest has moved out a while ago, but now he's moved out with his partner. Yeah. And then my son, my youngest, he's going to be going to college. Yep. And this weekend, he was
in New York, right?
Him and his girlfriend went to New York. So me and my wife were empty nesters. Yeah. And we loved it. We didn't cook once. We went out to eat every night.
That's fantastic.
We went to the casino and we had dinner with my brother and sister-in-law.
Nice.
And then we went to the mall. And so we've always had that connection anyways with kids or not. So we didn't really
So you had a couple times, but you just waited 22 years.
Right, we had 22 years. But you know what we always talk about? We talked about this weekend when we were walking through the mall. We loved taking the kids in the stroller going to the mall because at the time, you know, you have to, you know, and getting a cup of coffee, Starbucks, whatever you want. And we just walk and talk. And it was like our time, but we're still with the kids.
Yeah.
And we talk about it till this day.
That's funny.
So even
so you had family time, couple time, kind of combined.
Exactly. We combined it.
Well, did you have Carlo time?
I was a stay-at-home dad with Nick.
Right.
And kids sleep a lot.
Right. So you had time.
I found a lot of time to just kind of be alone. And then when the kids went to school, I was still a stay-at-home dad. So I had a lot of time.
So you had time.
So, and you need that.
Yeah.
You do need that.
Yep.
You can't forget who you are.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think now being, you know, I'm only partially back to work. I'm doing a couple, 3 days a week. Kelly won't start going back until about a month from now.
Okay.
But this is the most time we've ever been together. Like up until now, like maybe a couple weeks for our honeymoon, things like that. But otherwise, it was like working, a vacation. Yeah. We're working. Somebody's gone. So we've been together way more, which has been great. Like it's been fun. But as I was thinking about this, like Frank time, especially now, you're in this every minute. I feel like every minute there is something I've got to get done. Like I can't fall behind. No. I had a little cold last week, and it just like it completely. You just get behind. Yep. I can't do that. So I'm constantly like, I got out of bed this morning. It was like 25 after 5:30, and I'm like, I got an extra 30 minutes. Like, boom, get up, and I'm going. But what I have found is I need a little bit less sleep. I always have needed less sleep than Kelly. Okay. So Kelly will have a tendency to go where we used to go to bed together all the time. With the way it works with the baby now, she will a lot of times do the like last feeding. Baby goes to sleep. She'll go to sleep earlier. And I'll be up. I'll maybe have an hour and a half, 2 hours at the end of the day.
By yourself.
And I'll be by myself. And so I guess that's where I'm finding Frank time. We need to work on, and we're always together as a family, but we have not had any couple time yet. But I think we will likely be more like you and Trina.
You just reminded me.
What's that?
When we just got married, right? Obviously had no kids. I remember just sitting at the couch and watching something, right? We'd be watching something. A commercial come on, and Trina would jump over, start giving me kisses, and, and then go away. And then every commercial she would be like, come over again, kisses, kiss, right? And then the babies come, and there was no more kisses. No. And it's funny. And then I remember one time she goes, remember when we're alone again? And I go, yeah, the commercial kisses and kisses. But it's funny how you find, you know, things change, but at the same time, a good relationship kind of goes, kind of gets,
it weaves its way through that.
Yeah. So if you're not able to go on dates all the time, your strong relationship will oversee that. You know, time for yourself, even if it's like at 10 o'clock until. Whatever, 1, it's still your time. Your mind can kind of wander off and think about stuff.
Yeah, you got to have that. I think I mean, to a certain extent, it's just, you got to have a little bit of downtime because it's like, it just goes, just like there's something.
And you're in the battle right now. Yeah. I mean, you're in it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no really, everything changes and stays the same and changes and stays the same.
Yeah.
There's no like constant, it's always changing. It's always changing. But there's going to be a point where,
there's a rhythm.
Baby's, she's 2 now, and I can, we can have the babysitter and we can go out. And so I think everything has time. I don't think we did a lot of me time when the baby was 12 weeks.
No.
And I don't think a lot of people do that.
Well, we did just get I don't know what they even call it now. I'm going to forget, but I call it a playpen.
Okay.
It's a playpen. But now they call them something else, some other word for it. It's not a play. Yes, a play yard.
Yeah.
Why? Because a pen is bad?
Yeah. About jail? You getting locked up going to the pen?
So we rely, yes, exactly. We rely heavily on AI when it comes to all this product stuff.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm like, I go into Google Gemini and I'm like, we are a couple in upstate New York. We have a 3-month-old baby. We want to find a solution for a playpen, possibly for travel. We want it to be able to be brought outside. It should have a canopy. What are your recommendations? And it comes back with all these recommendations. And then what's interesting is Kelly will usually, while we're waiting, she will do research and she'll pick the same one AI picks. It'll be like, okay, it's a good one. So she ordered one the other day. And it's nice. It's like hexagonal. It's like one of those party tents. Yes. The way it pops open, boom, pops open. It's got a canopy you can put on when you take her outside for shade.
Nice,
but it's gray. Okay. And so I'm talking to my sister the other day, and I'm like, we got to show you the Gulag, and she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we got a baby prison. Hold on. I send her a picture because it's kind of it's gray. Looks like a rock. Yeah, well, like with that thing, she can be in there and and you doing other stuff, and then with the baby Bjorn, so you start to have more and more flexibility,
independence.
But it's interesting.
Well,
so
we were talking about that one thing when we realized the baby could be put on a chair, the bouncy, and just watch it, and we go, oh my God, my hands are free. I can cook.
I can do something.
I can drink. Oh my God, look at me. I can drink a soda.
Yeah.
And just little things become so grand.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels awesome.
In that moment when you get it back, right? You're like, oh my God. And I always talk about that, like you don't think normal life is ever going to come again.
Yeah.
Like, will I ever just have downtime?
Yep.
And you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was from Christine, always with the good insights. Thank you, Christine.
Very nice.
And another little bit of listener news you may notice, and we really haven't even talked about this because we've been busy. So the name of the podcast has changed.
Oh, we did?
We have changed the name of the podcast. Now, none of the graphics have changed.
There goes the merch.
So, no, it's still Gray Hair and Daycare. So one of the things that you don't know when you're starting a podcast.
Yes.
Now, originally, I had even secured like names and stuff. The original name of the podcast was going to be Old Dad, New Dad.
I remember that.
Because I thought, old dad. Well, I'm old dad and I'm a new dad. Right. You're an old dad. And I thought that was a fun play on. And then, but there was some podcasts, some couple guys out west that did it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to set that aside. And then we came up with Gray Hair Daycare. But one of the things you don't realize is like the Gray Hair Daycare podcast, that name is what's used for Apple and all these other services. And the searches are important. And having the word podcast in your name is kind of a wasted, because everybody knows it's a podcast. So I've been working on ways to have us get a little bit more exposure. So you will notice depending on where you listen or watch, the name is now Gray Hair and Daycare, Gen X Dad, Gen Beta Baby.
That's the name of our show?
That's our new Gray Hair and Daycare, Gen X Dad, Gen Beta Baby. Because I'm a Gen X dad. And she is, little baby Josie, being born in 2025, is the first year of what will be considered Gen Beta. So the kids that were born over the last several years are Gen Alpha.
Wow.
She's Gen Beta.
So this is going to help? It
already has.
Really?
Well, you know what tipped me off was I got a report that somebody's told us how we were the number one search on Apple Podcasts. We were the number one podcast when people search for gray hair. And I'm like, well, that's nice, but
and they skip us.
But it's not the point, right? And I'm like, well, that makes sense though, because it's in the name. So getting dad and baby and those other words into, already we've started to move up in some of the searches. So you will notice that a lot of the graphics are going to be the same. It's still Gray Hair Daycare.
That is more internals. Internals.
We're trying to
inside baseball.
It's the search engine optimization of trying to get other people other than you wonderful listeners and viewers.
You're the OGs.
To check us out.
You're the OGs.
You are. We will never forget you.
You're back in the day of Gray Hair Daycare podcast.
That's right. When podcast was
now
in
with
the
a
name.
beta fish and something.
Beta fish, beta baby.
Gen Beta Baby.
Gen Beta Baby, Gen X Dad.
Gen Beta Baby.
Beta Baby.
That's awesome. That's good to know.
And the other thing that I was going to ask for is there are a lot of you out there that are watching on YouTube.
They are.
Listening mostly on Apple, some on Amazon, some on Spotify. And I wanted to point out right now, we have all 5-star reviews.
Really?
Unfortunately, we only have 8. Oh. We have 8 5-star reviews on Apple. We have a couple on Spotify, but all 5 stars, which thank you.
Thank you.
But for those of you who do listen, it would be very, very helpful if you take a minute when you listen and just give us, if it's on YouTube, like the podcast. If it's on Apple or on Spotify or iHeart or wherever you listen, give us a good review. That's super helpful in moving us up the ranking as well. Yeah, the more
that we can get that from you guys, the more we can do this and hopefully go weekly again.
Yes, that's what. Then I can afford to quit my job and dedicate all my time.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I love my job though. I like it. I wouldn't want to do that. I like it.
No, we both love our jobs. I have a great job. You have a great job. Yeah. But it's fun when we can get to do this.
Well, just to feel like there's more. I think. Look, the interactions we just talked about. Oh, the fun. That's the most. We have fun when we do this, but it's also fun to see the reaction and see people showing an interest. And
it's nice to think of we could build this community.
Yeah.
That's always cool.
Yeah, the idea we were talking about before we started recording, or maybe it was during this, I'm not sure, that we have these people listening in the UK.
Yeah, you were mentioning it before.
In the UK and France and all over the place. It's fun.
I know firsthand to build up a community on social media. Mm-hmm. And it's the coolest thing because it does become like a family. And they follow you. I have people follow us for decades now that we've known, that we've met their families, that they've had kids, and we've been around and pictures, and then people come up to us and go, oh my God, do you remember this? This is from 10 years ago, 9 years ago, and they're still part of this community for my full-time job. And I would love to have that with this, because it brings in so many other ideas too. Yep. So many other things we can do when you have a bigger community.
Yeah, without a doubt. So that is it for the Silver Fox Mailbox. Yes. Don't miss any of the fun. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But now, here we are with one we have not done in a while.
Because we've been so good.
Because we have been so dead on accurate with everything.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because producer Kelly has not been sitting there while you're editing and going, that's wrong.
Yeah, no, she's been right. Yep.
Oh, okay, all right.
She's been pretty.
So we've been better.
Yeah, I don't think we've. I think
take it back then.
Either that, or we're so gun shy of saying anything
don't say nothing
that might be wrong.
You know what it is though? We do go, I don't know if that's right or not. We always say that. I could be wrong. We qualify it every time we say something.
So, and this one, even so here we are with I was wrong. But I will say, this is really not I was wrong at the time, but I'm wrong now. Right?
It matured into I was wrong.
When I said this, and it was either last episode or the episode before, I was talking about how baby Josie does not spit up a whole lot.
That's what you said. Yes.
Not very, very, very infrequently, but that has changed in the last few weeks. So now, and I was interested because all along, when baby Josie started to spit up at all, this was a big thing for Kelly. Okay. Kelly did not like this. She was very focused on.
You don't like my food?
Preventing this from happening. Like she was like, oh no. And I think one time she spit up a little bit when she was in the cradle wise, and a little bit came out her nose, and I think Kelly felt horrible. And then it was like she was on a mission that our child would never spit up again. And I'm like, from what I'm aware, kids do this a lot, right? This happens. But really she wasn't very often at all.
Okay.
So I was interested to see what it is, because right now it's at its peak. So between 2 and 4 months is when the most of the spitting up happens.
Okay.
And then it trails off significantly as they get older, because basically the sphincter that is underdeveloped in their esophagus, which is what allows the spit up to happen, develops, and they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, it stops it.
But I was interested to see like what's average. So I looked it up. So it's very common for babies to spit up several times a day.
Okay.
And up to some of them 10 to 12 times a day.
Wow.
Now
that seems excessive.
They said that's really on the higher end.
Yeah.
But right now, and it's at its peak, we're at like twice a day.
Oh.
That she might spit up.
Okay.
I don't think she's ever done 3 in a day.
All right.
So she has really not spit up a whole lot.
Okay.
But she has been spitting up more now. So I was wrong thinking that she was immune. She was not doing it. She wasn't going to spit up.
No, you fall under, my child's perfect.
I'm just like, I just
we
know,
all fall into that.
You see it all the time, like with, in TV.
I used to walk around with a rag.
Yeah.
So my clothes would stay. Then you smell like cottage cheese all day.
She got me once.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Yeah.
One time I had to change my shirt.
Yeah.
And it was my usher shirt too. I felt bad.
Aww.
We just got back from mass. But yeah, so I was kind of wrong.
She has developed into.
She's developed, but I think she's.
Still not bad.
I think she's very soon. That's going to start to trail away.
It has nothing to do with if they eat more now. Now she's eating more, so their belly's more full.
Not from what I read. Okay. It's really just that they need
development.
Yeah, that I'm sure that's part of it, and it is more common. Spitting up is more common with breastfed babies. I don't know why, but it is.
And The Exorcist.
Yes. And also, yes, it was scary. Yes. I don't know if I ever saw that movie.
Really?
I would not. No.
Date night.
Yeah. That
movie scarred me for a long time.
That's one of those things that they say there are certain markers for couples that you know you're a good couple. And one of them is if you both don't like scary movies. And
me and Trina, I care less.
Yep. Couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. Yeah, we're the same way. Like neither of us are ever
comedy.
like. Yeah.
I like comedy. I like to tear my brain off.
Yep.
Of what I have of my brain left.
No, I will go. I'll go for action, and a lot of times I'll be like headed for something like that. And we'll be like when we're looking for something to watch, and Kelly will be like, "Let's watch something light and fluffy."
Yep. Or we'll be our last.
Oh yeah, never.
Last.
No. Yeah. Suspense, maybe.
Yeah,
thriller.
Is nice.
Yeah. But no.
Well, things with demons and you can't go to bed.
Or slasher stuff.
Yeah, like I don't need that in my life.
No.
I don't need that before I go to bed.
Yeah. I always say like the real life is scary enough.
Yeah,
I don't need made stuff.
I want Paul Rudd doing slip at the beast. I don't know why I thought of that.
That's right.
I just want silly stuff.
The teeny weeny beanie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you were kind of wrong.
I was kind of wrong.
You're right and wrong.
But that does transition to talking about spitting up. Something that I think is going to be an interesting next segment, and that is one of the spit ups happened on the way to church.
Ooh.
So we're in the car, and little baby Josie is in her Uppa Baby Mesa V2 car seat, and I can see her car seat is on the passenger side in the back seat. It's like I'm a chauffeur now.
Sure.
And
Kelly's in the back.
Kelly's behind me. The baby's over there. And then I got one of these mirrors. Actually, Kelly got it. So it's a mirror that goes on the headrest of the back seat. So I can look in my rear view mirror and through that mirror see the baby.
Oh my goodness.
So I got.
Because the baby's facing.
Rear facing.
Gotcha. Forgot about that.
So she's looking at the mirror that's looking at my mirror that's coming to me. So
you got reflections everywhere.
It's I got to pay attention, but I can see her and I can just see boop, boop. And there's nothing you can do. You're driving. But what that created was we got to church. Kelly is super prepared, had a little outfit to change her into, got her taken care of and got her all changed before mass started. But then there's the sick in the car seat.
Right. So now it went in.
And that's all cloth and stuff. So I cleaned it up with a couple wipes as best I could, but there's all these little nooks and crannies in there. And that's something that then you got to figure that out, because if you don't get all of that out of there, that's an awful...
It's going to dry and smell.
And it's going to stink. So we're going to do an extra special episode of Crash Test Daddy where I will show you, and this is something I think I would never have thought of doing this, but I think for any new parent, out there, when you get a new car seat, the first thing you should learn to do is how to field strip that thing and take all that stuff out, because sometime your kid's going to throw
a great
up.
idea.
And so I'm going to take you through in our next segment in Crash Test Daddy. I'm going to take you through stripping down and taking it all apart so you can wash all that stuff and get it all cleaned out.
Awesome.
So we will be back with Crash Test Daddy. So here we are, and the whole idea again for this special edition of Crash Test Daddy is to be able to figure out, and this should be the first thing that you do, I wish I had, is know how to take this thing apart, because your kid's gonna spit up.
Yeah.
And it's gonna get in there, and you can only clean it up, with wipes and stuff so well. So most of these, I'm sure almost all of them, they are machine washable.
Sure.
But you got to get everything out.
All right.
So and I'm sure they're all different. This, again, is the Upper Baby Mesa V2. But I'll kind of show you the basics of how this one comes apart. And I'm sure the others will be similar. So the first thing
I'll do the play-by-play.
You'll do the play-by-play. So the first thing is the canopy thing.
Uh-huh.
So you got to kind of sneak in here. And there's a little tabby. And you got to pull that guy. No, that's it. You got to pull that guy there.
All right.
So once that's out.
The canopy is going to be released first.
The canopy is out. And then you're going to want to kind of get this guy. You can kind of start either way, but there's two parts. So this thing is adjustable. So when I pull on this here, you can kind of slide this guy up and down.
Gotcha.
I'm going to pull that up. And we're just going to get in here and scooch this guy off.
All right.
So that's
just a good cover.
Nice
Boom.
and easy.
Goes right into
off. Right?
Goes right into the laundry.
That's easy. Then you got these little clippies. The straps obviously are integrated. They don't come out.
Okay.
But the little shoulder pads, those come out.
They got the easy little buttons there.
And then this guy here, those really don't need to, but this hoop, the back, that pops out, so that can fly
now
forward.
Generally, I mean, if that's getting dirty, that's a really
no, this doesn't really come out.
But can you take everything else out without that?
I pull it. Makes it easier because to get this part out, you got to get that forward.
Gotcha.
So then it's just scooch it up. And there's these little tabbies that you'll see that kind of stretch everything out and hold it in there. So that's that. This comes out, and then you just work your way around.
Now, Frank, when you bought this, did you have to put it together, or it was already set? So
none of this was...
You never even had any clue?
I had no idea.
Okay.
So this, basically, you just got to find these little tabs that you see here as you're working your way around, and they kind of create tension around the thing. And then there's certain spots where it's just tied together. So as you get here, you kind of just scooch it, and you pull it around. That's that.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to this side.
Twist it, yeah. Kind of reminds me when Frank shows me how to take the top off the boat.
It's kind of the same idea. Same idea, except no snaps.
Right.
That's it. So now we're here. We got all that other stuff out of the way. And now we just have to scooch it around the headrest, which means it'll be easier if I pull this and push that down.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. And now the last thing really holding anything in is the main harness buckle.
The buckle there, yeah.
We just gotta push that down through. And we'll pull that through here. Like that. Pull that out.
I'm telling you, for anyone who bought this and is watching our podcast, this is going to save you so much time and grief.
The trick is
watching Frank do this.
Move this to get that, to unclip the little, from back here, unclip the canopy so you can get that forward.
Yeah.
And then adjust this up and down to get it out. But when you think about it, because then what happened is you can see kind of down inside here.
Uh-huh.
And there's all these little nooks and crannies where...
That's where it would have been sitting.
That's where it went. So you had to get in. Once this is all out, then this is machine washable. You wash it on gentle cycle.
Along with these.
Along with that stuff. And then the rest, you got to get in there. And like I was in there
soaping
with
up
a little
and
Q-tip and getting it all soaked
I haven't even
up.
seen the little details in there.
Yeah, there's a lot. It was a little bit.
Yeah.
But that will save you. Learn how to do it ahead of time because you're going to have to.
But that's a good note on. It doesn't have to be this model. When you do get your model,
whatever it is,
figure out how to take it apart.
Take the time to figure out ahead of time because the clock is ticking.
Then you're in it. Then you're in it.
Yeah, you got to get it done. So that is how to field strip a Up-A-Baby Mesa V2 car seat baby carrier.
Wow.
Good luck when you have to do it, and hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah.
All right. And we are back. Hopefully that will be helpful.
That was awesome. No, that's a great thing to do because when you buy something like that, you're always thinking of, oh, how do you install it?
Yeah.
You don't think of like, wait a minute, this thing's going to get messy, dirty, stinky.
That's it.
How quick can I take it apart?
That was when we got home from church. That was the first. I'm like, okay, I got it. It's already been like that for an hour.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get in there.
You got to get to work.
And I'm like, how does this work? Like, I had no idea.
No, that was
and
great
there's nothing in the instructions about that.
Right.
So you got to figure out how to do it because there's going to be a point where you need to do it and you got to do it fast.
Well, that's good that you showed everybody. And for those who are listening, go check it out on YouTube.
Yeah, check it out on YouTube.
That's right.
Otherwise, we will move on to what just happened. So
what's going on, Frank? What's going on? What happened?
It's been 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And if you recall, the last time we recorded, so our last episode, that day was baby Josie's first set of vaccinations.
I do remember.
So we had one in each leg and an oral, and they sent us home.
Yes.
And they said, obviously, you got to watch for there can be adverse reactions
Absolutely.
with any vaccination, so you want to watch for that stuff. But basically, they're like, she's going to be fussy. She was fussy.
Fussy.
So, and it was it was just one of those things, right? She was just a little kind of grousy and didn't want to sleep and was hungry and.
Do they hurt as well? I mean, they probably, when you take a shot, were the areas hurt maybe?
I think it was more like
what was internal.
It makes her a little bit sick. Right? Like that's what because this was like with those 3 vaccines, there was some stuff going on. Yeah. So she was pretty grumpy for just maybe, not even a whole day. Through the rest of that day and maybe in the first half of the following day, just not quite her usual delightful self.
Sure.
But generally that's all behind us until we go back in another month and a half.
For another round.
Yeah, because it's 3 rounds of those 3 vaccines.
I used to hate those days. It just bothered me anytime they were sticking or doing needles or anything like that. I hated it. And I remember Natali, he had a hernia.
Oh, really?
So he had to go through surgery as a baby.
Oh, wow.
And I could not. Oh my God! And the doctors were like, we do this all the time.
That's a common thing.
It's a common thing.
Yeah.
But it's like he was an infant. He was still doing it. And to have him, put out and under and
yeah.
I mean, I would be crying with needles, and then now all of a sudden I'm taking him to surgery. So that was So days like that, it's tough to be that strong daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, because the rest of the time you're enjoying and you're just enjoying them always being happy.
Yeah, it's your baby.
Like this time.
And then anytime you're giving them to.
Right.
Oh, it's just like you have no control. You feel like, oh my God, my baby, I'm giving my baby to the doctor. What's going on? And of course, everything went well. And, but it's tough. The shots and every 3 months or something, I used to hate that. Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
I felt the pain.
We got a couple more of those. We got to go. We're going to have, well, there's a bunch more that we'll have to go through with that stuff. But so that was it with that kind of started off with the vaccinations. Rolling into that first weekend, we had talked about the baptism.
Sure.
And my sister and her husband, Avi, had ordered a present, but it didn't come in time for the baptism.
Okay.
And so that weekend they stopped over for a little visit, and they got her the cutest little, like a sterling silver baby rattle.
Really?
With her name and birthday engraved on it.
That's awesome.
The other thing that she gave to Kelly, which is really neat, and I think all of my siblings, I don't know if they had stopped doing it by the time I was born, but back in the ancient old days when my siblings were born, all the babies they would put a little beaded bracelet with the family name.
Oh.
So it would be like baby cereal.
Oh. From the church or
this was from the hospital.
The hospital would do
That's how they would label the babies.
Wow, that's tough.
Right?
Nothing bad could happen with a bracelet.
When you think about it, just put a name on it.
Put a bracelet on that baby.
So she has her baby, and it's a little pink, and it says cereal. Because she was a girl.
Cool.
And it's so, like, I don't know if I could get it around my thumb.
It's like a ring.
It's tiny. It is so tiny, but she has it in a little box. So in addition to the little baby rattle, she gave us that, which was very thoughtful. But yeah, that was the old school.
Wow, yeah.
Old school, that was it. So that was nice. We had a little visit there. Mm-hmm. I was not feeling well, which translated, I think, into baby Josie not feeling 100% too. So I had a cold last week.
Yeah, I called you last week. You were coming up with something.
Yeah, I had started with, and it's interesting because a couple of my employees in other markets, one of them in Buffalo kind of had this before me. And
did you travel?
No, I didn't. It's just, I think it's going around. It's kind of started as a chest cold, and then I sound a little
I had that
stuffy.
for the longest time.
Chest cold.
It just doesn't go away.
And then what happened for me, and I think this is what she might have gotten, I had no appetite. I felt full.
Really?
For like 3 days. And I think that was really, it was like a stomach thing as well.
Were you getting sick?
No.
Your stomach?
Not really nauseous, just kind of bloaty.
Oh.
Bloated, just feeling full.
Yeah. Okay.
Like no real appetite, wanting to eat because I'm desperately in need of psychologically needing to eat. But
your brain wants.
I was literally having these conversations with Kelly, like, my body is saying nope. And my mind is saying, you haven't eaten.
Yeah.
You should have lunch because you deserve it. It's this weird kind of thing. Like, don't
tell your tummy, I deserve it.
Yes, tell your tummy, shut up.
That's funny.
So as I was starting to feel better, she was a little fussy and grousy. Not bad, a little stuffy here and there. We haven't had to use the snot sucker yet. Still just a little saline. And Kelly's got this little like hook thing. It's like a little, I don't know. It's not even like a tweezer. It's just like a little teeny loop on the end. You can get in there.
Works.
You can get a cookie. So there was that. But then rolling into this week, we had a visit from Kelly's sister. Oh. So Kelly's sister lives in New York City. She has a place in Queens. So she came to visit. She flew up and got to meet baby Josie and spent some time with her this past weekend. So that was nice.
So all the siblings except your brother and sister have not seen baby Josie.
Now my sister, I'm very excited. So she had planned to come earlier, but she's going to come for a week. She gets here later this week.
Oh, cool.
I'm very excited.
I haven't seen her since last summer.
She was here last summer.
Okay.
So she's going to be here for a week, and she's very excited to meet the baby, and we'll get to see her. And then my brother, I think, is going to come up when we have our summer party, kind of toward the end of July.
Yeah. So that's nice having people still come over. Still have some new visitors that haven't seen the baby.
Yep.
How was everything's good? The visits, all that stuff?
Yeah, we had.
It's in and out, right? Like quick.
we keep running into people, and I think people are try to be real respectful of a new baby.
Sure.
But then I think we also need to do a better job because we all always said, yeah, come on over, like let us know when. But I think we need to probably invite people. So I think I'm going to try to do a little bit more of that. And I did just put out, we always do a Christmas party, and then we do a party in the summer. I did do on Facebook, we scheduled our family party.
You think you're ready for that?
Well, obviously we did Christmas before the baby.
Right.
The summer party is pretty easy.
Okay.
Because when you think about it, the summer party, it's like you make a couple big salads.
And you grill
You
it,
do
right?
hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Everybody can kind of mingle around. It's not that bad. So yeah, not a lot of setup.
All right.
So I'm willing to try it. Plus, it'll be an opportunity for
that's a lot of visits.
Yeah, for anybody who hasn't met.
Yeah, it's a lot of visits.
Met baby Josie by then, they will be able to.
All the extended family.
Yeah, so she'll get to meet everybody.
Cool.
So we had Jenny's visit.
Uh-huh.
We've got Lucille's visit coming up, which we're very excited for. Yeah. And then with the baby, it's been interesting because there's always new stuff, new behaviors. So now it's new noises. There's little shrieks and little squeaks, and she will start to, I think there's more things that are kind of approaching laughter and giggles, little sounds like that. Right. So that's very fun. She's also now, as Kelly says, she has discovered her hands. Oh. She is starting to grab and grasp, and she's much more interacting with things and interested.
It's fun when they discover their feet in their mouth. Like, oh, this goes in here. So cute. Oh,
that's one of the things that Kelly also pointed out, that now her range of motion is changing. She can, and also just her proportions are changing, where she can reach things that she didn't used to be able to reach.
Are you noticing a personality? Is it too young?
She clearly, what I think the new thing is, there's that initial, and we talked about it a couple of times on previous episodes, the excitement of her recognizing you. Like you get in front of her, she sees you, and she smiles.
Well, I saw you when you walked in the room.
Yeah.
She looked right at you, and she was very excited.
Oh, yeah, she does. So she'll react. Mm-hmm. Now, what you see that is new, and it is one of the developmental milestones, that she's kind of like, for the social stuff, she's hitting a lot of the 4-month milestones.
Oh, okay.
For the like tummy time, holding her head up and things like that, she's more on track, or maybe even a little bit behind. But the social stuff, one of the things that you see is now it's not just, when she sees you, she recognizes you. You can see she looks for you, and she looks at you, and she wants a reaction. Oh. So it's much more interactive, where she looks, and when she sees she's got your attention, then there's the reaction. Gotcha. Right? So yeah, it's really, it is one of those things that you realize the more time you spend with a baby at that age, all they want is to know that you're there and to have that interaction, right. to just be engaged and know there's somebody there who's paying attention to me.
Yep.
It's very sweet. But when you start to see that added layer of interaction, that it's not just, that's daddy. It's, I want to see if I can get daddy to pay attention to me. Oh, he did. Yeah. And now I'm happy.
And that goes so, the buildup is going to be so, so big.
Yeah.
Like of different changes of, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, it's going to be so rewarding. It is rewarding. It's like you see this child, and when they start like really knowing you're coming in the room and wanting to get picked up. It's such a, when they put their hands out, it's the coolest thing when you come home from work or something and they give you that love, that feeling, that unconditional. Yep. Oh my God!
I get excited when the dogs wag their tail.
Yeah.
when you come home.
It's so funny. I'm a father of 2. And I'm asking you questions like I've never had a child, because it's been so long I forget. Yeah. You forget, all these little things that happen in 2 months, 3 months. Yeah. I mean, come on. After 25 years of my oldest 24 years old, you forget about this. So it's I'm like reliving.
Does it bring it back like that? Do you think?
Absolutely. It brings like when we're talking about stories, and these stories will come to mind at this moment. I'm like, oh my God, I remember when, because it's opening up this whole base that has been closed for a while. of being, you know, I'm a dad of a 13-week-old, or I'm a dad of a 2-year-old. It's been such a long time that's been closed. And with this podcast, the memories just keep coming back, going, oh my God, I remember this happening in that life.
It is interesting. There's been a few times where Kelly has had stuff to do and it's just me and the baby.
Yes.
And I'm immediately presenting to my sister, hey, you know, you could come over.
It's when you start inviting everybody.
Yeah. And I thought of you with your mom. Like,
yes.
But
she'd be like, you come over here at 7:35 every day.
You never used to do
that. Are you scared of the baby? Yes.
You think about it, but you do, especially, and I think maybe for me at my age, and especially with what I do, I'm the person that answers the questions.
Yeah.
Right. I'm the person who's like, this has all happened before. So I'm used to kind of knowing what I'm doing. And then there's that like, like you actually have to think about it.
But in your job, things are happening, and they're coming to you to go fix this.
Yes.
So you know chaos. You right. So you're used to like going, okay, yep. And what do I need to do to fix this?
And they still find ways to surprise you, even as much as like just like those stuff will come up. I'm like, really? Like these are the steps that you have taken before you came to me, and we're still here. But no, so there is that moment where you're like, oh, I have to like this is a little scary, but it's mostly turned out pretty good.
Moms have to feel that or no? Because they don't look like they do.
I don't think they are allowed to.
They don't look like they do.
No,
they're like, I can't feel that.
Yeah,
us dads are, hey, look at it, I'm scared.
I think it's in the quiet moments that they question themselves. In fact, I'm sure of it.
And we do it at every moment.
Right, we do it.
Loud moments, quiet moments.
We do it out loud. At inconvenient times. They do it when
they need us, when they don't need us.
They do it when they feel like they have space to. Yeah, we just do it.
Yeah, we're like, we hair's on fire.
But yeah, we've had some fun stuff. But yeah, the developmental stuff is neat. Seeing her start to be more interactive and having fun with stuff. I notice her a lot more paying attention to what the dogs are doing.
I was going to ask you, does she now look at how she acting with the dogs?
Yeah, she pays attention with Rumple, and it used to be more because Watson's big and black and white. Yeah. She could see him, and she was always like, there's this tail like wagging.
I couldn't imagine what a baby thinks they're looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough to looking at our ugly faces.
Yeah.
Going, why are these big
what's that thing
coming?
with the teeth and the tongue?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's this hairy thing coming at me with a tongue sticking out. It's got to be so crazy at that moment going, okay, I guess these are things on this planet that I have to live with.
That's the moment. When it'll happen a lot is I will have, when I'm doing fake skiing or that stuff.
Right, yeah.
I'll just take my pillow, I'll set it there, and I'll be standing on the side of the bed, and I'll kind of lean her on the pillow, and I'm doing my thing. Well, then Watson will just jump onto the bed, and you'll see this kind of shake. Yeah. She looks like, what's going on? And he knows where she is and where it's not like he's too close, but still.
They gotta look like monsters to them.
You gotta figure,
there's a bear. I don't even know what a bear is.
8 times her size.
Right. And then it's not human. It doesn't look like daddy and mommy.
No.
It's just hairy.
And he also doesn't respond to smiles.
Right.
Yeah.
Loves to smell me.
Yeah, that's the thing that always wants to lick me. But,
I just thought of it going, I could imagine what a baby's look at going, where have I landed?
What is that? Yep. Yeah.
That's funny.
It is, but it's a lot of fun to see that stuff. So that is pretty much the update for the last couple weeks.
Oh, a lot of things happen.
A lot of things going on, but all fun, enjoying it. We're going to be ready to have a visitor for a whole week.
That's nice.
We're just my goal is, and I'm glad, this is one of the things that we talked about a lot, you asked about a lot, and we stopped talking about it because I wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
Because the nursery had all these grand ideas.
I walked into today.
Yeah. The nursery is just an empty room, well, now full of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's good. I'm glad I didn't because I was going to do a lot of work. I had some real great ideas. But it was all kind of going to probably have to be redone because we weren't thinking about when she does end up in that room, what furniture is going to be in there,
right?
All that stuff. So we have kind of decided on what furniture and where. We got to go get it now. But now that I know where that is, now I can do, hopefully, while my sister Lucille is visiting, take the opportunity to put up the light fixtures, do some of the special work to get it ready, and have that largely done before she heads back to Texas.
It's going to be 3 months.
Yeah. In a perfect world, I would have had it done before she was born. But it would have been all wrong because then we'd be like, I'd have this mural of Winnie the Pooh, and there'd be a bookcase in front of it because of the way we need it's not a huge room.
Sometimes it's just nice to procrastinate.
I think it was a good thing. It was a good thing, but now the rubber is meeting the road. I got to get going.
Now you have to figure it out.
Yes, but I'm ready for so I'll be doing.
So that's good.
So and I think she's excited. She is a baby person.
Oh yeah, no, I can see it.
And she's gonna
just a little that I know of
fun.
her. She's gonna be a perfect host.
That'll be nice. There is something nice not having my mom around.
Right.
Seeing my sister. And
because you're going to get all that,
seeing my sister with Paula with the baby, and then getting to see Lucille with the baby,
you get to see what your mom would have,
how
she would have felt.
Yeah. So it's nice.
Yeah.
My brother,
yeah. Well, that's one thing I can always. I'm so glad that my mother and my father were around. To see my kids and know them.
Yeah.
Not just they passed away when the kid was 4.
Sure.
No, they saw him graduate. Well, they saw one graduate, and the other grandkids graduate and go to college. So that's it's a nice thing because I don't have older brothers and sisters that would have taken that place. I don't have that. So it was nice for my mom. Yeah. That's recently passed, but has been. She saw that.
She got to have that relationship.
She knew them. Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we are once again at the end. Thank you. And we will see you soon. And remember, like on YouTube, give us some good reviews. Not 4 stars, not 3 stars, 5 stars. We strive to give you I say this. I do this when I'm changing. A lot of times when I'm changing baby Josie, I'd be like, we strive for 5-star service. If there's anything we can do, as I'm buttoning up after applying the
if you've made it to this part,
yes,
I think you
probably like us.
So thank you for the 5-star.
Thanks for the 5-star
review. And keep the letters coming. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Send us some more. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon. Well, folks, that's another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare podcast in the books. Thanks very much for tuning in and spending this time with us. We hope it was fun. If you enjoyed this week's descent into the madness of dadness, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of our future adventures. And while you're at it, give us a like and share the cast with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Carrier Pigeon, whatever you crazy kids are using. Have any hilarious parenting stories of your own? Questions about navigating fatherhood later in life, or even when normal people do it? Email us at ghdc.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to bed.